Hello and welcome to the March 2019 Sunshine Summit. My name is Heather and I am the host. I'm also the host of a podcast called Sunshine and Power Cuts. And this week, in association with Geeks Rising, we are bringing to you a week of live streams to celebrate connections. Yesterday, we went live for day one with Csomo of the Varmints podcast. And today, I am very grateful to be joined by Mr. and Mrs. Ducky. Hello.
Hello.
Hi.
How are you both?
Quite fine.
That's
We're
good.
alive. We're fine.
I am glad you're alive, and thank you so much for being here. We've got
Hey.
Lago and Dope and Eldest Row in the chat. Welcome. Thank you guys for being here. We connected, pretty much all of us so far have connected through the Podcastage Discord server. So it's been an amazing place to make connections. And you have created this amazing concept for the games that you've played and the videos that you create for YouTube. You stream them on Twitch, and you've just recently launched the Duck in Games podcast. So there's a lot of amazing creative things to talk about. And your beautiful artwork that we can see today is courtesy of Mrs. Ducky.
Yeah.
Mrs. Ducky.
Yeah.
Quack. There we go.
Cats, ducks, people, it's all good. And we've even got grapes. So there you go.
Hey, and we have ducks.
Yeah. So just to, this week we're talking about connections, why they're important to us, and you have this amazing way of looking at or playing the games that you play and then talking about your analysis of them, what your thoughts were, and sharing that in a really fun and interesting way. It's something that when I connected with it, I really enjoy it. I get a lot of joy out of watching the videos that you make.
Oh, thank you very much. It's actually very, very pleasing for me to know that somebody does enjoy my quite weird gameplay things. And the other things when I do analysis on the games. To be honest, when I do analysis, I'm doing it like a dope. I don't know any professional terms, and I don't mean dopeness monster. Sorry, dopeness. I don't know any professional terms. How do you critique the games? I know it just from the standpoint of the customer. So it's just something I think everybody can do.
Yeah.
Mr. Ducky, can you?
Nope, I can't. I can just read all that material which you learned before. I mean, you're a game designer at last.
Hey, I have a bit of a background of game design.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I have some kind of education. It's a short education. It's not a very brilliant one, but I have it about game design, and most of the time it was about making me think about the game as a whole. Like the game is the whole medium, and you have to present this whole medium as a whole product, wholesome product.
Mm-hmm.
Like you can be expecting to avoid getting some troubles with sound, some troubles with marketing. No, it's just a whole big product. To be honest, I would suggest it's either like game designer in the indie project, or it's game producer in the larger project.
Okay.
I don't know. Something like that.
And how long have you been doing that for?
Sorry, once again?
How long have you been doing the game design for?
Oh, I didn't do it at all.
Oh.
I was trying to start the career as the game designer. I was trying to do some minor game design things for very, very small projects. Like it's microscopical small projects.
It was, but
yeah, the projects weren't good.
Okay.
Yeah.
Spoiler alert, they failed, not because of me.
Well, there you go.
because of management.
Okay.
Yeah, it was a kind of project management who decided that it is about time we ditched all the game design in this project and just focused on the story. And then they forgot to implement the story.
Yep.
Good
Oh.
times.
Oh, then there's nothing to connect with. That's great. Good work.
Artwork was also terrible.
Oh.
Oh yeah, Mrs. Ducky did some kind of artwork for them, but it was more like Mrs. Ducky drew some pillow-shaped person. The art lead looked at it and said, I don't like this pillow-shaped person.
Because isn't enough pillow in it.
It should be more pillow-shaped, like Pillow McPillowson. And it's like just a pillow phone Pillowson. No, it's not that.
They didn't take
But
the
then
pillow.
again, after Mrs. Ducky stopped working with them, they just took their arts, they changed nothing, and it was like, yeah, now it's fine.
They
Oh,
changed some emotes. It's
Are you sure?
yeah.
I think they changed it back after the first update.
No. They changed.
so that was an
Oh,
interesting
my.
experience.
That was
It was
enriching,
terrible. It was terrible experience.
but enriching nevertheless.
Yeah.
Yeah. But you've played a lot of games over the years.
Oh yeah,
Yeah. And even just
I
with the
cannot
one...
say I played them all. Sorry.
No, there's lots of games to play, so it'd be hard to play them all. Yeah.
Oh yeah. I definitely never played Battle Royale story mode, Larko.
There's quite a few, the videos that you release them in parts. So when the game is longer, there's like 13 parts to one of them. I forgot to write down the other one, but there's multiple parts to a particular game. One of the games that you have played that I do know of is Sunless Seas. Sunless Sea?
Oh yes, Sunless Sea is. I can't even remember how many parts there are in Sunless Sea. I remember that we have. The first captain was the cultist face. The second one was Drunken Slav. The third one was Mrs. Ducky, and the fourth one, still alive by the way and kicking. It's Manic Mallard.
Manic Mallard.
And 4 captains, the whole year of a lineage of captains. That's some, I don't know, maybe 20 hours dropped in the game. I don't know. I have to check out the Steam.
Yeah.
I think it's probably around 20 hours or so.
It's a hard game.
Oh.
It's not easy, that one. It is a dark game, and it's hard to keep the captains alive. It's hard to keep the crew alive.
Oh, you don't need to keep a crew alive?
Oh, okay.
I sacrificed them several times for favor of the gods.
Okay.
So they give me some fuel.
So the ship can keep going.
Yes, the ship can keep going, and we might have done some bloody sacrifices.
It's fun. Anyway, it's fun watching that. And one of the things that I connected with when you played BioShock was the Freak Fandango Orchestra song Requiem for a Fish, which was hilarious. And I loved the way that you used it throughout the game in your curated videos. You didn't live stream that one, did you?
Yeah, and I never live streamed it.
Yeah.
And this song is awesome. I still have it in my playlist somewhere.
It's very cool. I got to listen to it on a road trip I did recently. I added it to my playlist, and it just made me think of you and your videos. But you added
nice.
it.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome. And you added it in a place where it really added to the way you were telling the story about the game and how it was progressing. So it made it really fun as part of your audience to watch that. So thank you. There was a comment in the chat from Bandrew that you should play Fortnite.
No.
Nope.
Can we ban this person?
Nope.
No, just kidding. Bender is awesome.
Anthony said that Apex is better.
Yes, Apex Legends is much better.
Okay.
It's much better as a battle royale game because it allows you to have more room to be a professional gamer. It's bad way to say. More room to be skilled, less room to be just dumb lucky.
Yeah. He said that he suggested it because he heard your podcast that said Fortnite is the best game ever designed, and now he's trolling.
Oh yeah, I remember that podcast.
You do?
I was recording it, I think, next week. By the way, thank you, Andrew. I could have forgotten it that Fortnite is the best game ever. No,
Yeah.
actually, when I did the podcast, I thought about what should I start with. There were a lot of things to start. And there was actually very many things I find not quite right in the game industry. In terms of game design, I can just repeat myself that I don't know anything about finances. I don't know anything about management. I'm just a dope. I get a product, I play the product, I like it or I hate it. That's quite it. I don't know if it was marketed towards me or not. It was I don't know, designed to be more interesting for certain audiences. I have no idea. I just find it uninteresting to play. That's it. That's the end of the story. So I thought I could do a lot of stuff. And after several, let's say several deleted files,
Yeah.
I have decided that I have a game that I just hate. It's the Fortnite. Because it took the Minecraft Battle Royale mod and made it worse. And it was like, no, I don't like it. You shouldn't do it.
Barco said if Ducky does play Fortnite, he needs Cherry MX Blues, his Yeti, with the gain cranked to 100% and also needs to be 3 meters away from the microphone.
Oh, yeah. And I need to shout something unintelligible there. And I have to make sure that Yeti is positioned in such a way that everybody hears just the keyboard, not me.
Okay.
That will be awesome.
It would be perfection.
Oh yeah, and the bass boost. Eldest has a right way. You always need to bass boost the Yeti.
It's all about the bass, Andrew asked, if you could design a battle royale game, how would you make it so it's great?
First of all, Bender, I would never design battle royale game because it's not a great concept. But I would try to take as much from the Team Fortress and Quake Arena as I can. Like the Apex Legends, they took something from Team Fortress. They were, I don't know if they were expected to, but they took actually the professions. It's straight out of the Team Fortress. One guy can flank people and turn invisible. Other guy can be toxic. I don't know. I just and the Bloodhound can sense everybody. And yeah, it's the best way to approach this. You just need to make people make teams. Because first of all, you have to give people just enough room to make a team. And then you need to make just enough room so the team can be successful. Not because of dumb luck. That's why I would do some mechanics from Quake Arena. There should be some weapons that constantly spawn and respawn on different ways on different locations of the map. And so people will not just think that, hey, we have some luck in this area, let's go there. They know that they can find the longbow or something like that, or maybe a Spitfire. I don't know what they really want. But if somebody wants to find a longbow right straight from the beginning of the game, they should know that the longbow should be situated there.
Okay.
Or there, like 5 to 10 locations. And it can respawn. Like, you got the weapon, cool. Get another one soon.
Okay.
That'll be fine. Duck Life 3.
Yeah. There's a
The
suggestion.
quackering.
Yeah, the Quackening and the Duck Life 3 for games that you should design.
Woo! All right, I'll go and make a Kickstarter.
You've been creating a lot of content though lately. You've been doing the videos, you've been live streaming on Twitch, which has been an amazing way to connect with people while you play the games. How have you been enjoying that?
Oh yeah, to be honest, I think it was more of quantity over quality. Well, through the Twitch, it's a way better connection than through the YouTube videos, because most of the time people watch YouTube videos like, was fun, and the next one. And on Twitch, you expected to meet some people from the chat, and it was fun having some people hop from the Discord. Like, I still think that when Rex came to Sunless Sea Stream, it was very fun dialogue we had.
Cool.
And by the way, it is still on YouTube. You can watch it sometime later.
Yeah.
Liberty Dude has a good question, by the way.
He
What was
does.
the first video game you remember playing? The first video game, I have no idea what's the name of the game. It was something like Nintendo port of some arcade game. Well, let's start from the beginning.
Okay.
It was way back in time when in Russia there was no games. Like, literally no games. There was just Tetris, and it didn't belong anywhere. And somehow in Russia there appeared some NES clones, like Chinese NES clones, and they were omnipresent in almost every family you could have visited at that time. There were dandies. The NES clone, unofficial clone, it was called Dandy. And of course, there were absolutely zero official games there. Only pirated things from the China.
Okay.
And at that point, I think there was something like a racing game. Probably it was even a boring racing game, but I remember it just blew my mind. Like, so many colors. They're so bright. Everything is moving so smoothly. Oh my goodness. And I remember since then, I was just, wow, the games are so awesome. I should have more of them. And since then, I had more of them. And it was fun.
Yeah. Do you have an Atari, or do you still have an Atari?
Yeah, I still have an Atari 2600. I got it because the Dandy was pretty expensive. And my dad decided that, hey, if the kid wants some kind of video game console, why not give him some video game console? So I had an Atari.
Wow.
It was like, meh, it's fun. It has some built-in games even.
Yeah.
It was some kind of Atari hack. It had some built-in games. I had never had any cartridge.
Oh.
Ever. I have one right now. It's E.T. I bought it because E.T.
Yeah. That's amazing. When I was younger, my granny, she had an Atari. I don't know actually the origin story of that, so I'll have to catch up with her and find out how she came to come across an Atari. But she had a couple of cartridges, and I used to play when I visited her, and it was so much fun. But I think like back in the day when I had a DOS computer, there were a couple of games that I played on there, which was amazing. And like I used to play a lot when I was a lot younger, and then kind of let gaming go a little bit as I got older. But it was a lot of fun. Yeah.
And as I said, I actually stopped playing for a while when I became the university student, I think. Well, just because I had to do a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
I suddenly became so much older and more mature. But then again, I think on the second year or so, I was like, nah, I still want to play something.
Fair enough. Chris in the chat said ET gets so much bad press, but most people don't know that it was coded in like a month.
Yeah, I actually know that it was coded in like a month. Also, fun fact, this Atari with a lot of built-in games had ET. And I actually played ET at that age. I was like, what the hell is this game? I cannot understand anything. Why am I here? Who am I? It was never fun to play the game I don't understand.
Oh.
Well, actually, most of Atari games were not supposed to be understood just from the get-go. You had to read the manual.
There was
I had no
manual?
manuals.
Yeah, I had no
It was
manual.
fun.
There was one game where in Atari, I don't even know if it was what it was called, but you had to sort of go across and do different levels of jumping on the right thing as it would move up the screen. And there was one where it was like a waterfall and it would be like raining down and you had to zip through the gap without getting hit by the lines. And there was actually a really cool YouTube video that I watched, and I might have shared it with you, Ducky, about how they were looking into the Atari. I don't know.
Oh, like a Pitfall?
Not sure. Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Yeah.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
I think I'll check it out.
Okay.
Later. Not now.
Liberty Dude said, "Which direction do you see the future of video games going? Virtual reality?"
It's going down the drain.
Oh.
Sorry about that, but all the major publishers, they have no idea what they are doing. They have no idea what medium they have. They, well, I cannot say anything about the management because the management has no idea what to produce. They literally think that making a game about progression is a fun game, is a fun concept. It was like ironic concept for the progression quest. So the AAA industry is definitely going somewhere down the drain. But there are medium to small companies, more indie-ish developers that actually produce some of the gems, some of the really gems.
Nice.
Like I'm still eager to play Sunless Sky after I don't know, maybe not lose once in Sunless Sea.
Stay alive.
I'm very much looking forward for the Sunless Skies. And there are still games like, I don't know, rather small game Frostpunk. Very interesting, very funny. I don't know, no big publisher, I think.
And strategy, it's rare.
Oh, yeah, and it's a strategy, it's a pretty rare thing.
Okay.
The virtual reality, I don't know, it needs to be more affordable for other people. Like most of the people in the world, I don't mean America, just United States and Canada. Like more people in the world should be able to just afford the virtual reality set from the store, like a console. Before that, it's not going to move anywhere. It's just a fun gimmick. And not very much happened about the virtual reality. I think the best game they have, it's Beat Saber.
Yes, and Dopeness wants to play as Beat Saber and quite enjoys it, and it's a good workout, apparently.
Yeah, definitely it's a good workout, because I remember Dope saying he was feeling sore after playing Beat Saber.
Yeah. We had a couple of comments about retro gaming for the win, which was from Chris, who does a Play Comics podcast, and he's going to be joining us on finale day of the Sunshine Summit this week, which is awesome. Panther agreed indie
and
games.
I partially agree.
Yeah. And David said he only plays games made before 2010.
Because he cannot he cannot start anything. Oh, by the way, David, you are telling not the truth, because you play Apex Legends.
Okay. John said the last game he's loved from the 2000s was Fable, The Lost Chapters, but he grew up in the 80s and 90s, so maybe that's a bit of a bias of his.
Oh yeah, probably. I grew up in the same age, and I still think that in year 2000 there were a lot of great games, like the Deus Ex, for example.
Mhm.
I play it right now. I'm having a lot of fun with it.
That's cool.
It's so cool.
Yeah. You've done 13 parts of that so far, I think?
Yeah, 13 and a half.
And a half.
It's almost ready.
Cool.
It'll be up soon.
There's no pressure. Tim
Yes.
said, I think too many people forget that game creation is a form of artistry. You can't expect it to only look at well-funded groups to create the best.
And that is also true.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That is also true. It's some kind of artistry, and you shouldn't ever forget that you are creating some wholesome project.
Mm-hmm.
It's a product of many people, of their artistry, because some guy makes music, so the other guy makes artwork. Thank you. And the third guy is the least important guy. He just makes sure that it's fun to play.
I think that's important.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, usually. It is usually.
There's a comment
We
about...
actually...
Oh, you go.
Sorry, I was reading the comment about from Chris. We actually hate the VR and 3D stuff in our house.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, shoot. The motion sickness, yeah, it's very serious.
Mm-hmm.
I think I will start to have motion sickness in several games.
Uh-oh. Have you experienced any of that while you've been playing just games, like with the games that you've played so far? Like, does anything sort of get distracting or make it hard to play visually or anything for you?
Most of the time, I stop playing games, not because it's too hard to look at them or something like that. It's most of the time I stop playing them because they are quite boring.
Oh, okay.
I stopped.
Right?
I stopped.
Yeah, Mrs. Ducky stopped playing some games.
Okay.
Because of dizziness in the eyes.
That's not good. Yeah.
Because Mrs. Ducky is a gentle cat.
Yeah. She's lovely. And like we said, she's an artist and very creative. And she's been sharing some of her creations in... You've got a Duckracy Discord server?
Yes.
Yep.
And did the artwork for the channel and for your website?
All of it, yep.
All of it. It's amazing
all of
how
it,
you...
Mrs. Ducky did everything.
Mm-hmm. It's beautiful.
And the code even. Not only art.
Oh yeah, the Duckracy.com, it's all handled by Mrs. Ducky.
That's awesome.
Yep.
Yeah. The theme that you have for it is amazing. All the colors and the beautiful artwork and everything, it all ties in. The levels on your Discord server are named in an appropriate way that kind of matches this community that you're building. And with the Twitch people, you've seen people just come over from Twitch to join the Discord server as well, haven't you?
Yeah, I think some people just came from Twitch, but most of the people, I don't know how they come around. Well, I mean, most of the people really come from the podcastage server, and some people just come around from some other places.
Mm-hmm.
But we're still trying to maintain this Romanesque aesthetic.
Mm-hmm. And you're doing it well.
I hope.
You are. Elder said he was a big fan of the Far Cry games. And then we had a really good question from Liberty Dude about what was your inspiration to start creating content for others to connect with?
That's something to start from the very beginning. Mm-hmm. When I was a little duckling, oh no, I think I will go somewhere farther in the future. At some point, I remember that I was doing the jewelry work at that time. It was last year, and it was in January. I thought that I'm still doing the jewelry. I don't know what to do. What else would I do with my spare time? Something is happening out in the window. Let's pretend it's nothing. It's not people who trash in the dumpster, after all.
Okay.
It's something else. All right. And I thought, what can I do with my spare time? I have some spare time. I could just take more job at that point, like become very boring, very professional, and probably even drunk jewelry worker. Or I could just start doing something I like. And I thought, hey, I'm still playing the games, so why don't I share? Why don't I share with the people who might never wanted to know how I play the games?
And the concept was old school games?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, the concept was older games are better.
Okay.
Yeah.
And probably the RPGs, but not generally RPGs now, because they are probably very, very long ones. I still remember I tried to play Baldur's Gate, the second part, the Baldur's Gate 2, when it just came out. I tried to play it in one sitting. I think I have spent the whole 12 to 13 hours. And I skipped most of the stuff, and I was just reading from the walkthrough how to solve everything, and it still was hideously long.
Oh.
I was like, okay, maybe not all the RPGs.
Yeah.
Some are better. Yeah, right. I agree, guys. Some spare time was happening at that point of my life. Not anymore.
You just released the latest Duck and Games podcast episode too. So with being in podcastage where there's audio gear and things, I mean, your journey with audio, you had the Blue Yeti before you started the podcast, and you've just moved to the Q2U. So get a Samsung Q2U hype in the chat. Hopefully.
Yes. Hype everyone.
Hype.
Hype.
The cult grows.
There we go. Q2U hype. Thank you.
The cult be growth.
So you've launched that, and it was really cool to be sort of behind the scenes and helping you along with that, because that's something that I do. I really enjoy podcasting, and I'm excited that you're on this journey now.
Yay, and thank you very much for helping me.
You're welcome.
It was I was decided, hey, it's time to start the podcast. Let's say I got a Q2U, and it did speak to me like, hey, wanna start a podcast? I'm the mic for this. Disregard the Yeti. And I was like, yes, master, I will start the podcast. Oh, too far? Isn't cult is right here? No, wait, not that cult. Disregard that. So, but in any case, I decided that it's time to start the podcasting. But it was like, yeah, I decided. So what? What do I do next? I never knew how to start it.
Yeah. There's a lot to
And
think
that's
about.
because, and all because of you. Thanks to you. Just if it wasn't for you, I wouldn't start it.
Well, you did a lot of that on your own, though, too. You managed to figure things out while I was sleeping and stuff. So, I mean, you've done an amazing job. It's another way of people connecting with the content that you're making in a different format. So, podcasts, audio. You've made a video version of the podcast, though, which is awesome. And I love the little animation that you get that your duck goes throughout those videos. It adds an element to it. So there's your Let's Plays games on video YouTube, and then you're live streaming on Twitch where you're interacting with the audience in the live chat. And so you're covering a whole lot of different ways of making connections across your or through content and the formats and platforms that you're putting them on.
Yeah, throwing everything in the wind, seeing what sticks.
Yeah.
Or probably, maybe I should say, after deliberately thinking about this, I decided that it's wiser to do more stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, by the way, all the emotes from the podcast video version, they were all made by Mrs. Ducky.
Still working on them. It will be more.
Expect more.
Ooh.
Yeah.
That's very
Even
awesome.
more silly faces.
Yeah.
That's very cool, though.
I'm trying to do some positive emotes, but it's rather tricky.
Yeah, with the angry ducky. Positive
Yeah,
emotes.
it's tricky.
How do you make an angry ducky happy?
It's like an angry ducky, but less angry.
Mm-hmm.
Or maybe just a happy duck, but with an angry face.
Does he just look confused then?
I'm thinking about it.
Probably. There is a confused ducky also there.
Yeah. Mrs. Ducky, the cat, she looks lovely and happy today.
Well, I'm alive. It's cool.
Yeah, still alive.
You based, is she Irish? The cat?
Yeah, it's Irish cat.
Yeah. So this coming weekend is St. Patrick's Day, March the 17th, and it'll be the 17th in New Zealand when we do the finale. So yeah, I thought that was quite a cool connection to the Irish. Yeah.
I think Mrs. Ducky just explored a lot of Celtic and Irish culture before even I began to watch the podcastage videos.
Okay. Yeah.
Well, yeah.
I would love to go to Ireland one day. That would be amazing.
I'd love to.
Yeah. Ireland and
I'll
Scotland are on my list.
No, to be honest, I would love to go to Scotland.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
They have a lot of hills covered with heather, so that's one thing that I want to see.
There are a lot of cool nature.
Yeah.
And I'd like to.
And there are a lot of people, probably I will never understand their accent.
Yeah.
That'll be interesting. One thing I was going to say was...
Oh, DuckTales and Darkwing Duck?
Yes.
By the way, Darkwing Duck was not just a great show, it was a great series of comics as far as I remember. Well,
Yeah.
at least the comics I could get. And it was some pretty awesome game on NES. I love it still. Well, to be honest, when I became older, I knew it was based off Mega Man, but it's still awesome. And yes, Darkwing Duck was the reason to wake up at some mornings. I love this show. Still do.
England is on the just go into the thing. England is on the list too, Liberty Dude. I've been to England, love to go back. But yeah, Darkwing Duck. I remember waking up and watching that too in the morning. Meet up at Loch Ness since Dope is already there. There's a bit of a
Dope is already there? Ah, I thought he's in Michigan.
that's is Ness. Loch.
About Ireland and Scotland, there are less Celts than in England than in Ireland and Scotland, and there are more Romans.
Yes, civilized people.
Yes.
Yeah.
You cannot see me, but I'm showing the tongue to Mrs. Ducky, and she does the same.
Yep.
Yep.
Love you.
Same.
There are blob ducks as well. Or duck blobs, sorry, Larko. Don't forget there are also duck blobs. Larko has been an
Duck
amazing
blobs.
connection that you've had. He's been a really incredible supporter of everything you do, and he's an active participant in your server, and he's one of your moderators or your top level people in there. And there's a lot of duck blob hype, love, and all of those things that go along with that.
Oh yeah, because Larko is the best blob all around.
Mhm.
He's actually a blobtator.
That's it.
I think you
Blob-tator.
knew it, but people in the chat should know once again that Larko is the best blob. And he's the ruler of all the blob kind.
Yeah. I like how in your Discord you kind of have like you greet each other all the time. It's really awesome. It's quite a nice place to be and chat. And then there's like Plasma who's in there as well. And I think your greeting for him is like the best something to
The best
molecularize.
ionized gas.
Yeah.
Because plasma.
Yeah. Ionized
It was
gas.
my idea.
Yeah, it was actually Mrs. Ducky's idea.
Oh, cool. And then you have Spike and someone else, and they're the doggos.
Yeah, somehow some people decided the Spike decided that he wants to be the doggo.
Mhm.
Oh, by the way, that Spike who was banned from the podcastage server. He's a nice guy, actually.
Yeah.
Unruly one, but nice. And some other people decided they want to be doggos too. So why not? I
Mhm.
think Newsreel is still a doggo.
Is he?
I can. Yeah, he's still
Okay.
Canis.
So there's ducks, dogs, cats. There's a whole blobs. Yeah. Ionized
And we
gas.
have a monster.
Yeah.
Dopeness Monster has a special role,
Oh, cool.
as well as Mr. Humbug.
And Panda.
Ah,
Oh,
yes.
yeah.
Vixie.
A panda bear.
Yeah. The best
Vixie.
panda.
Oh, pardon me. Panda Ursus.
Just in terms of, I want to ask you what your favorite nature connections are. I know that you both like to go for a waddle or a walk together, which is a nice way of spending time together and getting out. Have you been able to do that with the weather lately?
Not lately, to be honest.
Yeah.
Yesterday we tried not to die. Today,
Also.
well, most of the day we tried not to die.
Yes.
And for some time we gathered ourselves and went to look at the center of the city.
Cool.
It was like, interesting, but not as interesting as waddling around in the park or around the ponds.
Mm-hmm.
We have a lot of ponds here, by the way.
Yeah.
Cool.
And a lot of animals.
Yeah, and a lot of ducks. Oh yeah, and we have a lot of cats.
Yes.
We
Yeah.
have one house that gathers around all the cats from the neighborhood.
So all the
I
cats
think,
gather there.
yeah, I think at some point we have seen more than 15 cats at once.
Yeah.
Wow.
They were like sitting around the house, looking at us.
Mhm.
Some did it menacingly, some with interest, but it was fun.
Yeah. I have seen your pictures of the cats, and that's really interesting. I like cats. But I've had some wild ducks that are hanging around here lately, which has been a lot of fun. So they said hi this morning. They quacked and waddled past. So I just thought I'd pass that on.
Oh, thank you very much.
You're welcome. Yeah,
They are funny little guys.
they are. One of my neighbors is actually going to get some more ducks, so they'll probably come and visit me too because I've got a really nice pond here, and also my fruit trees. They like hanging out underneath them in the anticipation of catching fruit that'll fall off, and I have to watch that they're not going to jump up and fly in the tree and try and nip the fruit off.
Oh,
Yeah.
those unruly creatures.
Cute, but yeah.
But they're cute.
Yeah.
They are definitely cute.
Does anyone in the chat have any questions for Ducky or Mrs. Ducky while you're here? The Ducky's Troll Patrol, said Liberty Dude.
Oh, definitely. Troll Patrol.
How did Mrs. Ducky get into art? Banjo asked.
Oh, well, it was a long way. I started from web design and I was self-educated web designer. And after 5 or 7 years, I understood that it's shame that I can't art. So I went to study, and here I am.
Yeah.
Well, to be honest, there was a bit more to that because when Mizrachi saw that, oh, bummer, I cannot draw. Oh, well, never mind then. And I was like, what do you mean, never mind?
Yeah.
Go and learn.
Yeah, it was.
It was me all along.
Oh.
Yeah.
Just to make the Ducracy standard. All of that.
So my question that I have about why did you seek out connections is just because you needed art for your future plans for the Ducracy.
Maybe.
No.
We cannot prove anything now.
No. Yeah.
Well, but to be honest, Mizrachi always wanted to draw something, to make art,
Mhm.
to produce it. Mostly, as I remember, with the aquarelle.
Watercolor.
Yeah, watercoloring.
I love watercolor, but also I love pastel.
Pastel?
Pastel, yep.
Pastels, yep.
They're fun.
Yeah.
Yeah, and so fast material. I love fast material, and I love graphic more than art. It's easier for me.
Yeah, Mizrachi is better with illustrations
Yeah.
Okay.
of various sorts.
Yeah.
And yeah, I'm using a tablet to draw. I have a Wacom Windows, but I love digital drawing less than traditional.
Okay. You like working with the materials rather than the digital as much.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I can say I love Mizrachi drawing oil paintings very much because after she does something with the oil, we have a very nice scent here.
Oh,
I love it.
cool.
It's so long to draw by oil.
Takes such a long time.
Yeah, every picture is making at least 3 days, and between them a lot of time when material is
Drying up.
drying up. Yeah.
Yeah. The work in progress.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's a very, very long work in progress.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Also, can I answer, David?
Yes.
How do I stay so positive and happy? It's easy. I don't.
True that.
There we go.
Okay. That's it. That's the
One less
answer. Yeah.
mystery.
Yeah. Andrew said that your art is amazing, Mrs. Ducky, and I agree.
Thank you.
It's been very awesome to see. You had created also a burger for Steffi, which was very awesome. It was incredible watching that come together.
It was a tricky because I wanted to eat all time. I tried to do this art.
It made you hungry.
Yeah.
Yeah. The lettuce, the curl of the lettuce that you got was just very cool. You did an amazing job there.
Thank you.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
awesome.
Yeah. Is there a game that you haven't gotten round to playing that you really want to play, Ducky?
Yes.
Yep.
There are very, very a lot of them. Well, I still didn't play very much. Well, first of all, from the top of my head, Sunless Sky, I didn't play it yet. I want to play it because reasons I want to.
Mhm.
The second one I would love to play. It's System Shock 2. To be honest, System Shock 1 I would love to play, but I highly doubt that I could manage the controls there.
Okay.
Oh, and there are Shadow Warrior. Those one I also want to play.
Cool.
And about favorite game or game series, I had some game series. Fallout was my favorite game series.
Mhm.
But then Fallout 4 happened, and it was like, nope, I don't wanna. Please stay away from me. So I decided that I really like the first one. The second one, I can tolerate the Fallout Tactics. I can tolerate Fallout 3. It's fun to play at some point in Fallout New Vegas. And that's it.
Okay.
That's it for now.
Yeah. Anthony just
But
asked
I really adore Fallout 2.
Fallout 2.
That was amazing.
Cool.
Sorry, I spoke in front of you.
No, that's
I'm
all right.
sorry, I wouldn't do it.
No, it's fine. I was actually cutting in, so I'm really sorry about that. Anthony asked, and I didn't want to miss the question about Mrs. Ducky. Has she thought of doing art streams? And I think you've talked about that maybe in the Discord, but like an overhead view of the art that like Dopeness does for his comic streams.
Well, I tried to do it, but I don't like it yet.
Okay.
I don't. It's not my format of work.
Yeah. It's very awesome
think it
seeing
was-
the update pictures when you do share them, though, as you're going through. So it's cool to watch that kind of process.
Well, it's hard. I don't like to do my art when someone look on it. Sorry.
Yeah. So you share it when
Can't
you're
do it when
ready.
people watching.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. Do you have a PS4 from Chris? This question?
Nope.
Nope.
The last PS I have is PS3.
Okay. I have a Nintendo Wii and a PlayStation Portable, a PSP, and that's
yeah.
it at the moment.
We have a lot of.
Yeah, we have a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
We have that. Well, bootleg NES, the Dandy,
Mhm.
the original one, by the way. They rebranded it at some point. I mean, they redesigned it, the whole thing, at some point, and we have the original one. Then we have SNES,
Mhm.
the European version, the German one, I think, as far as I remember. Then we have N64 and Nintendo DSi.
Cool.
And that's it for Nintendo, I think. Then we have PlayStation 1, 2, 3,
Mhm.
PSP, two of them, the fat one and the slim one, PS Vita. I don't know why, I just liked it, and I still like it.
Uh-huh.
It's fun. I suppose, yeah, we have original Xbox 360.
Mhm.
Oh, and we have a weird Russian console. It's a pawn console. It's called Electronica. And it's the most weird part of this console is it has not just the explanation how to fix it, but it has an explanation how to assemble another copy of it
Okay.
just from the store shelf.
That sounds interesting.
It is.
Yeah. We're gonna wrap it up in a minute or two, but John asked, do you think that Nintendo should try and make a N64 Classic Edition?
No,
No?
definitely no.
Okay.
It's emulation all the way. You can emulate it. It's somewhere else.
Okay.
Also,
Don't do this.
Also, you have Sega.
Oh yeah,
Oh,
Mega Drive 2.
wow.
For the US citizens, the European version of the Genesis.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's amazing. Where do you keep them all?
I don't know. Well, they actually, some of them are here and some of them are in Moscow,
Okay.
in the parents' house.
Eldest has a few
And,
things. He's got a Switch, a PSP, 3DS, XL, PS2, Xbox 360, GameCube, and PS4. And then his PC is the king of them all, he said.
Same. The PC is the king.
Cool.
You can play everything on there.
Cool. Well, oh, not that one. Wait. Oh, no. All the
What you
things
said?
changed. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. That just all the things happened wrong just then. Wrong buttons. Thank you to everybody. Yeah, it was an epic fail. Good job, Heather. Well done.
That was just fine.
I don't know about that. I've got my little family of ducks in the background with the grapes. It was kind of a play on the duck song, which people might know, and I broke the interwebs. Man,
People should know the duck song
Yeah.
everyone should know the duck song.
because we waddle away.
We will waddle away very shortly. So thank you so much for joining me today, Ducky and Mrs. Angry Ducky. It was amazing to have you here. Thank you for sharing your stories about the games and your art. And for everyone that you've connected with, I'm not blaming the ducks. Thank you for being here in the chat to celebrate with them. And I really appreciate everyone who's been supportive of Ducky's content so far, who's come along to his Twitch streams. You can find all of the links to Twitch and YouTube on duckracy.com. And Ducky has a Patreon. He has Angry Ducky on Patreon. And it was cool to see a couple of the inside things before they got released on Patreon. So, yeah. Support in all the ways. Go and check it out. Have fun. Play games. Love ducks. Give them bread. Is that what you want to tell everybody? I said earlier, give the bread ducks. It was very confusing.
And thank you very much, Heather, for
Thank you.
hosting the Sunshine Summit.
You're welcome.
This is awesome.
Thanks for being here. All right. We'll catch everybody later. Whack.
Later.
Later.
Right.